Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's live session on a must-have guide to invest in Singapore. So, if you guys are interested in Singapore, in Equities Tracker, we have actually developed a website to provide you with the necessary information and also analytical tools for you to make investment decisions. It's also for you to actually do your own due diligence, your own research on the data that we have, which is quite comprehensive. And what I'm basically going to share with you tonight is how you could actually use the website. So you can just go to sg.equitiestracker.com. Our colleague will post the link so that you can click on the link. And if you want to, you can also go to that website right now. All right. First of all, thank you so much for joining us tonight. So we'll take about probably an hour for us to go through. And if you guys have any questions at all, you can just type in the comment section. Then I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. All right. So before we start, whatever that is being shared today is for educational purposes only. It's not intended as any investment advice. So if you look for investment advice, please do look for a licensed investment advisor. All right. Because whatever I'm sharing here today is there's quite a lot of data actually on the website. You have to do your own due diligence, do your own research before you make any investment decisions. Okay, so if you're ready, then let's take a look. I'm going to share another screen. I'm going to share you basically the website so that you are able to go through as well what I'm about to share with you. Okay, let me see. All right, I'm probably going to just zoom in more, just show you the full screen so you can basically see the whole thing. When you go to sg.equitiestracker.com, okay, the first thing you see is this page here. You have to agree to the terms and conditions. All right, so once you click, now you're in the website. All right, now the website is actually divided into two categories. One is basically for stocks, and we actually divided it into another asset class, which is REITs. But of course, REITs or Singapore REITs and stocks is traded in the same exchange. All right, so you open a trading account with a broker, you are able to basically trade any of these. It's just that because REITs is a little bit different when you want to analyze REITs to make investment decisions, and that's why we actually provide quite a comprehensive REITs tool. We call it REITs Guru. So you can see here, and it's also a tool where you can actually compare REITs as well. All right, but today I'm going to focus on stocks. So the first thing that you see at the top there is called the Stock Selector. All right, I'm just going to guide you through how easily you can use these tools available so that you are able to find opportunities to invest in the Singapore market. All right. Okay, there are two ways you can actually start. If you, let's say, you do not know where to start with in the website, there are two basically tools. All right, two different tools where we can start off with lah. So whether you want to start off with the charts, which is from the trading ideas, or whether you want to look at fundamentals, we put it here as investing ideas. Okay, so whether it's from the charting, so if you guys are from the charting route, you want to look at the charting tools first. And then if you want to look at fundamentals, you can go from there as well. All right, so these are the two information, right, which are basically based on facts and figures. Okay, we all know today that there's so much information available on the internet, especially, right? And sometimes we get just too much information. We get the information paralysis, right? Just that we just do not know what to do, right? Because the market is basically full of opinions, and therefore it's sometimes difficult to make a decision. And furthermore, if you get information like tips or rumors, or ideas or whatsoever, is also very difficult to know where the source came from, right? Because they are all opinions of other people, right? And it's important not just to follow these opinions blindly, but to do your own research and due diligence to find out whatever information that they have actually given to you is basically right or not. All right, and this is what the website is for. It is available for everyone right now. So you just have to click sg.equitystriker.com. There's no registration or whatsoever. It's free for all. So all you need to do is just go to the website and you are able to already start using it. Okay. So like I said earlier, we have divided into two ways you can go in because if you do not know where to start, or basically if you really just want to search for a stock that you already want to look at, you can just type in on the top right corner, there's a search stock next to the Reach Guru menu at the top, right? You just have to click here and then search for the stock, and then you can basically just get more information. All right. For example, let's take a look at ST Engineering, right? So I can just type in, okay, maybe AS, Asian Healthcare Specialist, let's say. Okay, so once I click Asia, for example, you have all the results there. You can just basically click on the counter, and then you get the first page here, right? Now we may not get information here. Hold on, let me try again. Let's try a counter that we all know. Okay, since we have talked about Thai beverage before, let's take a look at Thai beverage. Okay, obviously there's something wrong here. Hold on. Okay, let me try something else. I think they're probably updating the website or something. Obviously, hold on now. Let me go and check why the website is not showing the data. Okay, hold on for now. I'm basically checking with our IT team and see what's happening. Hold on now. It was just working in the afternoon when I tried. Okay, we'll try to get this sorted out. I'm not sure what's happening right now, but please do bear with us. We are now trying to figure out what is happening. While you have any questions, you can just type it down. Okay, while we are waiting for this, let me go and just go through with you some of the tools available, which is also available on our Malaysian website. Just to go through the terms with you guys first, and while the website is back up, then we'll go back to the website because I need to go and go through with you some of the terms first of what do you expect to find on the website. So hold on, yeah. Okay, let me just share another screen. Okay, so um, this is basically our equities tracker website, and it's basically similar to the one on sg.equitiestracker.com. All right, so you'll see the similar stuff as well. For example, we have stocks with liquidity and volatility. So if you go through this website, right, this stocks with liquidity and volatility, you get a list of stocks that basically meets the requirement of volume and also volatility. So if I'm trading, for example, right, I want to basically trade with stocks that has liquidity and volatility. So you can find this in this particular list of stocks over here. All right, so you find this is the same thing on sg.equitiestracker.com. So you can look at the criteria here. Basically, we have stocks that has at least 1 million shares traded on average daily, with also 1 million ringgit in value. All right, so in Singapore, we have the same thing as well. And we also did a filter where the stocks has to be above 30 cents because we do not want to look at stocks that are below 30 cents, because when we calculate volatility in terms of percentage, those stocks below 30 cents was of course much more volatile, all right? Because every single price increase when it's a penny stock, when the stocks that's below 30 cents, it can be huge in terms of percentage, right? And we on the Malaysian part also, we'll look at stocks that move at least 6% a week. All right. So 1 week movement, right? So we have a volatility of 6% a week with volume. So these are ideal for trading. All right. So that's why we call it tradable stocks, right? We term it as tradable stocks, but basically it's stocks with liquidity and volatility. We can also sort by columns. For you can sort it, for example, this particular counter as of 15th of July has the biggest volatility, MGRC. The average movement is about 21%. The average volume is about 66 million, right? So it's quite high lah, right? So similar on the SGX website as well, you can actually click on the counter and you'll get the details. So this is what we're not getting right now on the SGX website, but we'll just hold on for a while and see whether is up and running. Okay, but you get this tool. So we have um, you know more details later on. So I would like to show you these particular tools that you can use here on the SGX website, or SG or Singapore.equitiestracker.com. But let me go back here first again, right? So we have basically, when you come to technical analysis here, the first tool that you see here is basically stocks with liquidity and volatility. This is basically look for stocks that has movements and so volume for trading purposes lah. All right. Then we also have these rock bottoms. We also filter out stocks that move at or that actually fell more than 30% from the 3-year high. So from the highest level in 3 years, you can see, for example, in Malaysia over here, you have most of the glove counters at fell the most, right? Like Supermax is down 92% from the 3-year high. Care Plus also moved 32% from the 3-year high, and so on. All right, so this will show you all the counters that actually decline more than 30%, right, from the 3-year high. So if you look at Bursa Malaysia, at Bursa Malaysia, there's a total of 64. But then again, this list as well, we also filtered out stocks that is above 30 cents. So stocks that are below 30 cents are not included here. Okay. There are some criteria like, the average volume here as well. There are more than 30%. Okay. So these are basically rock bottoms. Of course, the Singapore one, the requirements or the criteria is a little bit different, but you get the idea lah. So whenever you click at the counter, you actually get the fundamental information, or you can also get the charts. Okay, so that one I'll show you on the website, the sg.equitystriker.com when it goes back live lah. Okay, so while the IT team is still searching or still trying to figure out what happened, I'm just going to go through with you the Malaysian website first lah. Okay, so then we have also others based on technical. So we have uptrend and downtrend. So this is for those who know about technicals, you probably be able to understand the terms that we mentioned here. Right, for example, we have uptrend stocks at their moving average, which means that first of all, the description itself says that these are stocks that are moving into an uptrend, okay, and they have pulled back to their moving average. So this is like price has actually dipped, okay, while it is still in an uptrend. So if I'm going to click on this, for example, same thing on our Singapore website, you have short term, medium term, and long term. So we use the 30-day moving average, okay, as the trend definition, which means that if the price keeps on staying above the 30-day moving average, we have a short term uptrend, right? So for example, like we have capital A over here, I'll show you in a short while. We don't have any stocks that has pulled back in an uptrend for medium term and long term. That's for the Malaysian market. So I can look at this. So I know first of all that these stocks are in an uptrend, but they have actually pulled back or declined from the uptrend. So similar to the Singapore website, you can actually look at the charts as well. Okay, so now it's going to load capital A, which is basically Asia, right? So you can see that the price right now is slightly above the moving average. Okay, you can look at here, the price is above the moving average. So by definition, is an uptrend. And you can also see that the price actually declined and is quite near the moving average. So this is what it meant. Okay, so basically for those who want to look for stocks that are in an uptrend, you can see Asia here, or capital A, has been going up for the past 5 days, and only today it has declined. And this is all this information here is updated on a daily basis lah. All right. Now this is a weekly chart, so I can go to the daily chart. So daily chart, you obviously can see that the trend is going up, and you can see the price has pulled back. All right. So this particular tool look for counter that is going up in the short term, 30 days, right? So you look at the daily chart, it is going up, and the price has pulled back. Okay, then from here onwards, you guys can actually use your own indicators or your own tools, okay, to basically figure out whether there is an opportunity or not. All right. So what it does here is basically it tries to filter out and make things easier for people who want to look for ideas, and then of course use their own ideas before they make an investment or trading decision. All right. So these are uptrend stocks that has pulled back. And if you look at oversold downtrend stocks, all right, these are basically stocks that are in a downtrend, but has really gone way below its moving average. That means it's really gone down quite aggressively lah. All right, so we have the short term, the medium term as well. So if you look at this counter, for example, my news, it is both, okay, it is basically oversold or really low or relatively low in both the short and medium term. All right, so when I click my news, for example, and you want to look at the charts, okay, and you can see that my news has been going down quite aggressively, right? And you can see the price has been technically oversold, because if you use indicators, for example, like RSI, which indicates whether the price is oversold or not, you can see the RSI reading is below 30, right, on the daily chart. And of course, if you apply the trend indicator, for example, the moving average, and if I'm going to apply the 30-day moving average, which defines the short-term trend, okay, you can see that the price is trading way below its moving average, okay, and therefore considered as oversold, right? So for some traders, oversold may create some buying opportunities because this is where we may expect a rebound, right? But then again, I'm just saying that this is where traders look for opportunities, but you also, of course, have to apply your own indicators to find out whether whether this price here would able to be supported before it rebounds, all right? So if you look at this tool, for example, okay, where we look at downtrend and it's oversold. We also have a few counters here, for example, not just my news, but if you look at Hong Seng also, you go to the price charts and you'll see that the price has also come down quite significantly, right? So again, traders may want to look this and may look at this as an opportunity, especially when price is oversold. Okay, so what we have done is basically in these ideas over here, right, and it's also of course available on the sg.equitystracker.com website, is to make things easier for people to look for ideas, all right, for ideas. So the first two, basically the uptrend stocks at the moving average, where we look for uptrend stocks, okay, but has pullback, or similarly we have price that is in a downtrend but it's really really low, where indicators are saying that it's oversold. All right, these are opportunities, right, for traders, for those who use technical analysis lah. Right, and the other two is basically when stocks have already gone up and become overbought. Okay, like for example, these are stocks that are in an uptrend and it's overbought. For example, like this company here called AGES. Look at the charts and you'll find that the price is currently in an uptrend, okay, but very high. Okay, so that's why we call it an alert. You have to be a little bit careful, all right, because RSI has gone above 70, which says that the price is overbought, right? And it is an uptrend. Okay, so for traders again who look at overbought stocks, meaning it's probably time to take profits, right? But then again, it depends on the trader or the investor, okay, because you definitely have to use some other indicators to confirm whether the price is gonna turn around or not. All right, and again, I said, the tools here is basically to help you to at least identify easily first, right? If you get no ideas, this is a good way to find some ideas lah. Okay, so even in the overbought uptrend, so there are not many stocks in an uptrend except for AGES and Chin Hin over here. Now market is in the downtrend, so you probably don't have any stocks that are uptrend in the long term and also the medium term. Okay, but of course, when the market is really bullish, right, you will see some stocks over here. And remember that this website is updated on a daily basis. All right. Okay, so let me go back again and look at the last part. Okay, downtrend stocks at the moving average. So these are downtrend stocks that are moving in a downtrend, but they have rebounded quite significantly. Okay, so like these are again Bursa Malaysia, right? So we have stocks like, let's say, Press Metal, okay, which is also a counter in the KLCI. So if I look at the charts, okay, you see that by definition the trend is bearish. Hold on, let me change to a daily chart. You can see that the trend is bearish, it's still going down. But what happened was the price actually rebounded, right? So this filter basically looks for this kind of counters, right? It's moving into a very strong downtrend. And of course, this is a 30-day average, so it's a short-term downtrend. And the price has already rebounded. All right. So this one again, we call it overbought in the downtrend, right? In a downtrend, because when price rebounds in the downtrend, and if the trend were to continue, the price may continue to fall. All right. So again, the idea for this, okay, when we look for downtrend stocks at a moving average, is basically to look for stocks that are in a downtrend but has rebounded. So all of these have the similar pattern, right? Like for example, we have looked at Press Metal earlier. Now let's take a look at let's say media lah. Right. So if you look at media, you'll find that the pattern will be almost similar to Press Metal, right? Here price has gone down and you can see that it has rebounded quite significantly. Okay, same as Press Metal as well. Okay, and if we go another one, for example, Media, same thing. Okay, when I look at the price chart, you'll also see that media is in a downtrend and it has rebounded. Okay, so basically the tools that you see here, right, on the tools that you see here earlier, the buttons here, this is basically to look for stocks that met that particular criteria. Okay, so we have downtrend stocks at the moving averages, again uptrend, overbought, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is again a tool that traders can use if they want to look for ideas. All right, and if you want to know whether the stocks I'm trading has liquidity or volatility, I can basically check here as well. All right. So when I click, for example, stocks with liquidity and volatility, now let's say I'm thinking that I want to trade Dutch Lady, for example. Okay, and this is sorted by alphabetical order. So if you look at, if Dutch Lady is not in this list, that means it did not meet the volatility and volume criteria. Okay, so maybe Dutch Lady is not a good stocks to basically trade for the short term, right? Because short term stocks that has volatility are good for traders because traders love volatility. All right. Okay, so let me get back to the next one. So remember, I told you earlier there are two ways you can actually start off with from the technical ideas or technical analysis, right? That's where you get on the Singapore website. Actually, that's where you get the trading ideas, the first part, right? And then the second part, you can actually go and look for investing ideas. Okay, so remember the screener is basically all about looking for ideas, lah. Okay, so if I go to investing ideas, for example. Okay, so here also we have created a few um, pre filters. All right, that means we already put in the filters ourselves, so that you don't need to go and put in your own criteria and so on and so forth, right? But of course, again, whatever information here is based on the criteria. So like here, for example, we say these are dividend kings, for example, right? These have posted profits, dividends, and has operating cash flow every year for the past 5 years. Okay, so this is basically stocks that are likely going to pay dividend because they have been consistently paying dividend over the past 5 years, right? They are also consistent making profit every single year for the past 5 years. Okay, and also they have profits, right, every single year. So that's why we call it as dividend kings. And this is again Bursa Malaysia. You have like 18 counters here that met the criteria. All right, and I remember that the list here would exclude REITs, lah. Okay, because REITs again is a different you have to use different matrix to actually analyze REITs. Okay, it's compared to stocks. So there are lists of counters. So whenever you have a list here, again, you can work on it further. Right? This is basically sorted by dividend yield. So let's say I look at Uchi Tech, for example. Okay, then you get further information. Right? So when you look at financials, you can actually look at the summary of financials. Okay, so this is where you dig deeper, lah. Right? So the data is actually here. Okay, so the first thing you do is you go to the filters. Right? Try to filter based on the pre-filters that were already given to you so that you can actually get some ideas, or you can do additional filters yourself. All right. So I'm not going to go through with you all the the matrix, and all these figures and facts and figures, but if you know how to read the financial statements, you know how to analyze financial statements, then this will be a very helpful tool for you guys, lah. Right? And there are also other stuff, which of course some of these are not available on the sg.equities tracker website. I hope that the website is able to come up today, so at least I can show you guys, right? Okay, and let me go back again. So I have a few different ideas here, right? So I've shown you, for example, Dividend Kings. Remember, these are all companies that has been paying dividends consistently, right? So there are like 18 counters of them. So all of these counters, 18 counters, actually met the criteria. So you'll probably see, although they may belong to different sectors or industry, but they are basically showing the same, or not the same, but the patterns are the same when you look at the financial statements for all these counters. Okay. If you want to look, for example, cash hoarders, that means these are companies that has a lot of cash. You can see here, you have also put the headlines here. We have, you can look at their net cash positions. You can look at their against their market cap, right? And so on and so forth. Okay. So we also have like a net cash position of market cap. So I can sort this, for example. Okay, you can find that, for example, let's say Supermax, right? Supermax 150%, and you can look at the net cash is 3.4 billion, but their market cap is 2.29 billion. So basically, when you buy the share, you're buying um, their cash, lah, right? The cash already itself is 3.4 billion, but their market cap is only 2.2 billion. Okay, so these are basically stocks that meet the criteria that we have set. You want to look at the criteria, you can scroll all the way to the bottom to make sure that you understand those criteria, lah, right? So we have, for example, in these cash hoarders, we define these companies by this company must have a minimum of 5-year track record, right? So you can't get this, you can't get IPOs here, lah, right? You can see that the cash and securities less short-term loan and long-term liabilities is more than zero. Okay, it excludes company classified under financials, companies with audited financial statements in Malaysian ringgit only, and it's sorted by subsector. All right. So again, this will, if you're looking for company that are cash rich, right, then you can start with this list, lah, right? And of course, you can go into the details, and then you can look at the financials, right, of these companies, and you can start analyzing them. Okay, so let me go back again. So yeah, so we try to make things easier, right? Especially if you are here in Malaysia and we do not know what to invest in Singapore, this could be a very useful tool, right? So that at least it will give you some ideas to start off with. Okay, if I do not know where to go, I do not know where to get some ideas. Whether it's trading, where we look at charts earlier, or whether it's from investing, or whether it's from fundamentals, is available here on the website as well. Okay, so let's say take a look at turnaround warriors. Okay, so Malaysian, there's only one company here. So basically, this is we are looking for companies that are from negative turning into positive in their quarterly performance. Okay, so we call it turnarounds, right? So we have look for companies that has been making losses, and it turned into profits, right? Like for example, we see this counter called VC over here. The previous 4-quarter net profit is actually a loss, right? About 11 million loss. The third quarter, you only lost about 734,000, and then the previous 2 quarter, then you can see that the company is starting to turn profitable. All right, so there's only one here, lah. Okay, again, so this is again also available on the sg.equitystracker.com website. And unfortunately, I still haven't get a queue from my colleagues whether this website is up or not. Okay. Okay, let me check. Okay, hold on. Let me just check. Okay, let me just get a final confirmation. I think it's almost up on the sg.equities tracker. but to be sure, just hold on for a while. Yeah. I think they're connecting the data, but yeah, until I get confirmation from them. Well, you guys, if you have any questions, you can type them down. Okay, well, we are waiting. See whether the website is up. Okay, let me just go through a little bit because I got the. Okay, just give me a second, guys. Let me try and see whether. Okay, it looks like it's up. Let me just share with you guys the sg.equity striker screen. Okay, so let me go back to you again. So since I already give you some of the definitions, right? So I can go back to stocks. You still remember there are basically trading ideas where you want to start off with the technicals or price charts first. That's where you want to start for looking for ideas here. We also have investing ideas at the bottom here, right? So we have, remember I mentioned to you on the Malaysian website, we have things like dividend kings, cash hoarders, mode defenders, rising stars. And then we also have this uptrend and downtrend, overbought or oversold. So again, so let me go through. If you guys know the data is right now is up. So I go to, for example, tradable stocks. You can see that in Singapore, there I think if I go and look the list here, there's 17 of them has met the criteria. So the criteria is here at the bottom, right? So we have stocks that are above 20 cents, and the average volume is about 500,000 shares a day. Okay, and the weekly movement is about 4% a week. So there are 17 counters that meet this criteria. Okay, so if I go through, for example, let's take a look at Vilma. Okay, so you have, first of all, the first page, you have the basic information. You also have the charts over here. Okay, and it will also show you the dividend as being paid out. Remember, we are looking at the fundamental data, right? So the last dividend payout is about 10 cents. Okay, on the 6th of May, on the 22nd of February. So it will show you all the dividend payouts here as well. And if I want to look at financials, so I can go and look at the financials. This is basically presented by a graph. This shows you the net profit, revenue, and also the operating cash flow over time, right? You want to look at the details, then you can have the 10-year profit and loss statement. Okay. We also have the 10-year cash flow and the balance sheet. Right. So there are actually 10 years of data that you can work with for every single counter. Okay. So I can also look at their quarterly report, their quarterly performance. Okay. But of course, we're not going to go to very detailed. The quarterly performance that you can get here is basically their turnover, their profits, and also their earnings per share lah. Okay. You can also make a comparison, right, with the different counters. Okay. For example, these are, when you look at Wilmar International, you can also look at almost similar companies, but of course not really exactly, that their competitors are selling the same products lah. Like for example, we know Wilmar is actually a, a, plantation company, right? And also not just plantation, but they also have they're also in the downstream, right? So I can compare, for example, with once you have that, I can also look at Golden Agri, for example. Can at a one glance, when you go to the financials, you actually just compare them, right? Okay, and then you can also look at their shareholders, right? The top 20 shareholdings, like for example, at Golden Agri, we have Raffles nominees, have all the nominees here, and then a few companies. You can see that the top 20 shareholders in Golden Agri are mostly institutions, right? Some of the shareholding analysis, like what's the float, what's the total, right? These are the top 20 shareholders you can find. Okay. Then you also have capital and dividend information. Okay, we also have if there is a corporate exercise where there's a changes in its capital, like issue of warrants, or even give you bonus or split or even share consolidation. So whatever corporate action is also being displayed here. You can see also the dividend payout frequency heat map. Okay, by the announcement dates, you can see that most of the time that this company pay their dividends in February. All right, from the historical performance. So you expect dividends to pay out in February, August and November also, right? But it's not as frequent as February. Okay, so this to basically give you a track. And then the last one here is you also can look at the directors, right? The directors of the company. So all the information is here, right? So we have the financials, right? On the yearly financial results, we have 10-year of yearly performance of the company. You can go to the quarterlies, so the last 5 quarters. Okay, you can do a comparison. Okay, and if you want to choose a sector, also you can choose a subsector. Or you can look at almost similar companies. All right. Then you can look at shareholdings. You can go and look at the capital, dividend, and information, and look at directors. And remember, all of this information are basically information that we get, which are published, right, from the financial statements. So it's all there, but we just collate it and make it easier for everyone to use the website, right, and get some ideas. All right. So if we go back again, you go back to the main page. You can play around with this. I think it's quite interesting. We have things like continuous heroes. So we don't have any list here, so there's no continuous heroes. Not much here in Singapore that meet the criteria, right? Nope, nothing much here. Okay, I can go back here again. These are, again, from technical side, these are stocks that are downtrend, oversold, right? So I can just click on First Resources, for example. Okay, so you can see that the price has been going down. It's in a downtrend, and it's also really low, right? And you look at the RSI indicator, indicates that the price is oversold, right? So, so for those who are looking for opportunities, especially if the fundamentals are strong, then this may provide a good price and value divergence, right? If you're investing, you want to always look for companies that prices are going down, but their fundamentals are strong. All right. So I know, for a fact that the price is in a downtrend, and if I want to know why, then I can actually look at the financials, right? Obviously, you can look at the quarterly results. You can see the quarterly results. Of course, this is up to the second half, which is December 2021. You can see that the profits are growing. All right. You look at the numbers here from 2019, 2020, and these are all the quarterly and the half yearly performance. You can see they're actually growing, right? But why is the price going down? Okay, so that's what we need to find out. Okay, if you look at their financials on a yearly basis, you can see the profits are going up and revenue is going up, and their operating cash flow is also going up. Okay, so one must be wondering why the prices are coming down. Okay, then of course you can look at other details, like look at the cash flow. You can see that the company, well, not that bad in cash. It still has quite good cash balances, quite good cash flows, and you can see the operating cash flows are also positive every single year. So the question is why, right? Why prices are going down? So of course I cannot make any recommendations over here. You have to use your own due diligence, okay, to figure out why, right? So if I go back here again, you can look at the charts, right? So the price has been going down. So is it because the market is just reacting to the current sentiment? Okay, because fundamental sounds like it's good, but why is it going down? Okay, so this is what. Yeah, and the good thing about this particular website is you can get all information in one particular website, lah. Right? So the charts are here. You can apply most of the indicators are here. There are quite a lot of indicators that you can apply. All right. And at the same time, you can also go into the fundamentals. All right. So everything in one page. Okay. So as an investor, for example, like myself, I would like to look for, it's always good to look for opportunities like today where the prices are coming down, right? But their fundamentals are still solid, still growing. Okay, so that shows to me that maybe the market is just overreacting, right? So I can start to work on rock bottoms, for example. I know that Top Glove looks like very cheap right now, right? Because it has fallen more than 90% from the 3-year high. Okay, so I can look at Top Glove. Okay, you can see the share price has been going down since the peak last year. Okay, so fallen almost 90%. Okay, and I can look immediately and look at the quarterlies. Okay, of course, obviously the quarterlies has fallen. So if you compare, for example, at the earlier example of agri uh, agri resources, right? It's different, right? For that company, the profits are rising, but in this company, in this example, Top Glove, for example, the profits are declining on a quarterly basis, right? And look at financials on a yearly basis, and of course, this is because it's the results here is based on 31st of August, right? And they're still making quite good money lah on a yearly basis up to August last year. Okay, but when you look at quarterlies, you can see the decline is actually quite significant, especially on the net profit side, right? Because the margins has been going really low. Okay, so from the map here itself, you already can compare, right? Basically, the dark blue line here is the revenue or turnover, and you can see the light blue is the net profit, and you can see the net profit in Q2 in February 2021, right? You can see the margin, right, from net profit against the turnover is more than 50%. All right, and you can see in the next quarter, you can already see the revenue drop, and you can also see that net profit has declined as well. But the margin is still about 50%. Okay, but on the fourth quarter, for example, you can see there's a big drop in its margin, big drop in turnover, big drop in profits. And you can see that the margin here has gone down from 50% to about 30%. All right. And then it gets even lower and lower over the years because, if you are following the glove sector, for example, you see that the average selling prices for glove have came down quite significantly over the past 1 year. And that's the reason why you see that share prices has gone down that drastically. All right. Like I said, I'm not going to go through every single stocks, but I think you get the idea of getting, at one glance, you have all this information needed, right, to make a well-informed investment decision. Okay, rather than just looking for news or looking for tips or rumors, this could be a good start where it's purely facts and data driven. All right. So if I go back home again, it always starts here with stocks. Okay, whether you want to start from ideas, from technicals, right, or from fundamentals. Okay. So again, if you want to look for stocks that are in an uptrend, for example, right? So we have one here. Okay, Dacian Retail Trust, and you can see that the prices has slightly gone up. Okay, not much. It's not a tradable stock, so you see there's not much volume and also not much volatility because this is basically a REIT, right? Um, but the prices has been going up slightly. You can see the moving average is starting to go up. And again, so you want to compare this on the fundamentals, okay? You can see that, well, it's not really the consistent, right? Fourth quarter, for example, in 2019, the turnover was about 22 million with a 5 million profits. But here you can see, okay, the net profit, they actually turned a net loss on the first quarter 2020, right? In the second quarter, they profit again, and then it comes back to the second quarter in 2021, which is December. Okay, the turnover is 49 million, but they're making a net loss of 51 million. Okay, so you can see the price slightly go up, but again, we can't use some of these matrix on REITs lah, all right, because it's different from stocks. Okay, but I'm just showing an example, right, where you can actually just compare with different stocks in industry, or even compare the the indications that you get from the price charts with the fundamentals as well. Okay, so go back home again. You always start back here. Okay, I think there's not much there's not much counter that met the criteria. Let's take a look at mode defenders. Oh, okay, so we have mode defenders over here. So mode defenders are basically where their net margins, right, their net profit against their revenue is more than 20%, but less than 100%, right? So it's more than 20% margin. So these are companies that make quite good margins, right? You'd be surprised to see, like, for example, in Singapore, there's a banker that's able to make at least a 20% margin. This is OCBC lah. All right. So again, in a glance, you can see the price charts. All right, and then you can also look at their financial performance, whether it's on a quarterly basis. Right. So quarterly basis, they're quite steady. They actually make a big bump here on the second quarter of 2020, which is June. Okay, but the net profit is not that. I mean, you look at the margin, it's quite low, but consistently they're quite okay lah, right? You look at the financials over the long term on a yearly basis, you can see that this company fundamentally also quite strong, right? Again, this is up to your interpretation as well, okay? Because company has been profitable for the past 10 years. It has the cash flows are not that consistent. All right, but then again, being a bank, because it's sometimes they use it for financing or investing activities more than having cash, right? And the balance sheet and all that here. So you can basically use the information, like for example, one glance here. Imagine if you want to go through 10 years of financial statements, right? Just to look at their profit and loss statement, it's going to be quite tedious, right? But from here, you only have one page that summarizes most of this information that you need. Okay, so it makes very, very easy to see, right? For example, you can see that the turnover for this particular bank, right, 10 years ago in 2012 was 5.9 billion, right? And then it was 6.1 billion and then 7.6. So at one glance, you can already see the performance, right? You can see 2021 has dropped a little bit, right? The peak was in 2019, right, where it made about 12 billion, and that revenue has gone down. Okay, although the turnover has gone down, but the net profits are quite consistent. Okay, like you see here, in 2021, for example, although they make smaller revenue, smaller turnover at 7.4 billion, but they actually made a profit of 5.4 billion. All right. So again, banks are quite they know how to manage the money. Like, they are banks anyway, right? So if you compare, of course, you cannot compare this kind of results with, say, another company which is in the plantation industry, or even, let's say, the semiconductor industry. Okay, but basically there's just quite a lot of information that you can use here. So I hope that you just go to sg.equitystriker and make use of whatever information that's available right here. Okay, for you to make use of, and it's basically free, right? You don't even need to log in, you don't even need to register. All you need to do is just go to sg.equitystriker.com, all right, and make sure you save this link so that in the future you are able to get in again. All right. Maybe in the future we will have a session on REITs. All right. But I think we do have a few. You can always go to SGX Campus Facebook group. All right. We call it the Singapore Market Campus. Okay, where we have some of the videos that we have recorded earlier on REITs. Okay, all you need to do is to go to the website. I think my colleague will put the link there, the Facebook, so that you are able to go to the group and just sign up as a member. You need to have access, and then from there you can do discussions. You can get ideas from opinion leaders, and also have the archives of videos that we have whenever we go live on for the Singapore market. All right. Okay, I guess that's about what I want to share. I hope that today's session will give you an idea, especially on this website. Right now, it's free, so please do make use of it. Also, please do share with your friends, especially for those who are interested or who are investing in Singapore market, because I'm sure this website is only developed last year, end of last year, right? So it's quite new, and that's the reason why not many people know about it. But of course, we do this kind of session so that more people will know about this particular website and make use of this website, because it's quite a powerful tool that you can use, okay, for you to make your own research, for your own due diligence before you make investment decisions in Singapore. Okay. Now, if you have any questions, you can just type it down. Okay, before I end this session. Okay, we do apologize for the earlier setback. We really do not know why the data was not displayed on the sg.equitiestracker.com, but it's working right now, so you guys can just immediately access as well. Okay, so if there are no questions, then you know what? I'm going to end the session here tonight. Just want to thank everybody for joining this session tonight, and also bear with us with some technical issues we had earlier. But we do hope that this website will be able to help you investing in Singapore. So till then, have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you again.